Hola, mi gente. What's up? ¿Qué pasa? Bienvenidos. Welcome to another episode of Hoy en Día TV. I am your host and producer, Yesy Rodriguez, bringing on to the stage my amazing co-hosts. We have Cece, Dr. Cece, the actionist, to the stage, and author, entrepreneur, Nadine Barton. Welcome,
Hello,
lovely
hello,
lady.
hello.
Hey, everybody.
Happy Thursday. How are y'all doing?
Happy Thursday. Another day with the rain.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. It's like the rain. I feel like most shows that we've been doing on Thursday, for some reason, there's like rain, right?
There's rain. There's rain. It just means that, more beautiful flowers are blooming. We're washing away all the yuck and the grime out of the atmosphere. And so we're just refreshing.
Good positive way to look at that, Cece.
Yes, indeed.
You know what? That is a good way, because with that, there's the ability to cleanse, right? Even when you think of water, we jump in a shower, we take baths, we're cleansing ourselves. So I see that. Also see our body needs water to grow and nurture our own bodies, and that's, like you said, growth with plants and outdoor things. So okay, I'm seeing the correlation there.
Yes.
The earth is replenishing. The earth is replenishing.
Absolutely. Well, amazing week. So last week we had a juicy discussion with our amazing guest, who is a dissertation editor, right, Cece?
Yeah.
And we had a really good conversation, to the point where the enemy was trying to stop me from saying stuff. But guess what? That's not going to happen today. So I'm just putting that out in the atmosphere. That's not happening today. But we do have another amazing guest, as per usual, with an amazing, interesting career that brings a lot of fun and vibration and a little bit of this and that. So I'm excited. But our guest is not going to come on just yet, because we're going to do our trending topics. So what do we have? What have you all found within the last week? I have something, but before I share mine, I just want to see if y'all have anything in mind for trending topics.
Yeah, so let's talk about the flooding in Texas and what's going on with that,
Mm-hmm.
You read my mind. Yeah. So with the flooding in Texas, and there was a similar flooding here in North Carolina, Nadine. I'm not sure if you were aware.
I'm not really, Cece, you didn't tell me that.
Burlington.
It may have been before I moved here.
Oh,
There was flooding in North Carolina, Burlington, North Carolina. It affected Chapel Hill, North Carolina, to the point where they are in a boil water notice, which means that you have to boil your water before you either consume it, take a bath. And because what's happening is there was flooding that took place, and there was cross-contamination with some form of river. Let me actually find more details about that.
this was recent?
Yes.
I can hear.
I'm going to tell you in just a moment, because it was actually pretty big, to the point where a lot of it was more local, but it sounds like it obviously didn't make national news. So this actually happened. Tropical Storm Chantal. I'm not sure if y'all remember Chantal, that just came through by recently, I feel like this is the after effect of Chantal. Formed on July 4th, which was just last Friday, and moved inland by July 6th, brought extreme rainfall over 10 inches in Alamance, Chatham, and Orange counties. The Haw River near Burlington surged nearly 30 feet, cresting a 32.5 feet of its all-time record and entering a major flood stage. The flash flood warning was issued for Burlington and surrounding areas on July 6th and 7th. It affected multiple roads, interstates, and there was a lot of closures. So even with that, now they're to the point, because of that, where they have to boil their water. Right. And then with the flooding, go ahead.
Yeah, I did hear about Chantal, because we were, my husband and I, we were driving, and then we had, on the radio, we're talking about, the storm, tropical storm Chantal, and so we're like, oh, how do the storms get their names? And and so my husband was like, oh, they go in alphabetical order, and so this is the third storm of the season, and so on and so forth, and they kind of alternate between male and female. So it was like a whole thing, but I didn't know that she had come through and did all the damage up in Burlington, which I'm familiar with Burlington, because I travel up there sometimes, and so did not know that. Interesting.
Right.
Wow.
And it looks like There was July 3rd through the 7th, a stalled storm system fueled by remnants of Tropical Storm Barry. So while Chantal was affecting us here in the East Coast, Barry was affecting the Texas area. Dumped up to 20 inches of rain over the Texas Hill County. Flash flood emergencies were issued on July 4th across the Kerr, Bandera, and Como counties. Some warnings did arrive late, unfortunately, to the point where the Guadalupe River surged explosively, rising 26 to 37 feet within the 2 hours. And it overwhelmed camps, communities, to the point where there were fatalities, 121 fatalities confirmed, including 36 children. Mm-hmm. And as of July 10th, which is today, 172 individuals are still missing as a result of Barry.
Wow. That's something. You know, we were just talking about this, I guess, a couple of weeks back about knowing, you know, emergency places to go, you know, when things happen and stuff like that. And yeah. And, you know, I had saw, you know, too, like back, was it 1970 something, or I don't know, where in Texas, that flood that Nadine had mentioned, that had happened some years ago, a few decades back. That same area that flooded, you know, even this term now in Texas.
That is really interesting, right? Because when I think of mountains, and I was talking to my honey about this the other day, in comparison to us, where we're like more flatland, the mountains, in my mind, right, the mountains are high, we're down here, so then the water will stream downhill. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around how that happens with the whole flooding, especially if they're up elevated, water goes down. Like, how does the whole flooding thing work? I wonder. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Maybe landslide. I have no idea.
Because I often think about that like that. Sometimes it doesn't always make logical sense to me, especially what we know with regards to like gravity and water and how it trails and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm have to see what
they probably don't have the things equipped to sustain the flood when it comes. So they don't have anything in place. I mean, if it's historical, you think they'd fix it by now.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. Yeah. What about that robot? Talk about weird, bizarre things. That robot that was found streaming in, was it Michigan, Detroit? What do you think about it?
He was just stopping by and waving at people, waving at the kids. Like, what is really going on? Like, I'm not understanding. I really don't.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Go ahead, Tissy.
Oh, this one's cutting out. Okay, I believe that, you know, this is all the field of beta testing, because, you know, they've had robots for quite some time. So now just to get them out in public to kind of see how people are going to respond, react, that kind of stuff. So you know how things just kind of come in easy. You kind of coax people into things. So we already know that they're building, because all the movies have been out there, right? From iRobot to other, you know, robot movies. And so now they're just really putting it into our real society, right? Just to kind of see how it's going to happen. I think robots can be helpful, can be useful. But then again, I saw those movies too. And so I'm like, like, you know, are they trying to take over the world? But that was very, very interesting. You know, when I was up in Atlanta with Nadine a couple weeks back, we went to a fast food restaurant, a Checkers restaurant, because I love their French fries. And it was AI that was taking our order. There was only 2 people in the restaurant that was cooking, right, the food, but it was AI that was taking the order, doing all of that stuff. And I know that there's a full-blown restaurant in California in which the AI is all AI run. There's one person that's on site, I guess, you know, if technical errors happen, so they can, you know, reboot systems or whatever the case may be, but it's completely AI operated. But that was very interesting. So we were at the drive-through. I was like, is this AI? It was total AI. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then when we drove up, you know, to, you know, pay for everything, it was like a real person there. But I was just like, interesting.
There's actually a Mexican restaurant. Mexican restaurant here that I've been to, and they have the robots delivering the food.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we have that here too in one of the Mexican restaurants too. One is called Tlaquepaque, which is amazing. So if you're ever in the Wake Forest, Raleigh-Durham area, check out Tlaquepaque. They're pretty amazing. But they do. Her name is Rosie, and she just jets around and she like goes to the tables and she delivers the food and all of that stuff. It's in quite a few of the Asian restaurants as well. You'll see that in some of the Asian fusion restaurants. You'll see the robots coming by to deliver your food, playing music, right? They have like little robot faces with a little smiley face and stuff. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but back in May, they said that the president was trying to bring robots to be in the factories and stuff. They were going to take over a lot of the jobs, so that might be coming before you know it.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh gosh, I hope not. I will say this, just listening to you both and then just listening to what happened in Detroit with that robot being spotted back on July 7th. It reminds me of back in the day, the kids it was intended for kids, but the Jetsons, remember when they had the robot and they're living in space or wherever they're living and flying cars, and it's just,
I used to love the Jetsons.
Now we're seeing all that, and we're in 2025, and it's like, wow, look at that.
And it's so interesting you mentioned the Jetsons, because that robot, now that I'm thinking, her name was Rosie. So, yeah, it was.
Oh, look at that. That is interesting. So
Right.
going back to that robot in Detroit, so on July 7th, the robot's name is Zion, was spotted casually strolling along Detroit's 7-mile road, shaking hands with pass buyers and stopping traffic. He was just walking and people were like, ooh, what's that? And so they kept stopping. And so apparently Zion is a full-size humanoid robot developed by Art Cartwright, founder of the Interactive Combat League. And so what's interesting is this robot is set to debut at a promotional campaign for RoboWar. So I actually took some time and I went under RoboWar website, and it's really scary because it reminds me of literally the movie
iRobot,
Transformers. You see, Nadine, go right now if you're by your phone or website and type in RoboWar. Even Cece, you do the same. I'm just curious to see.
I've seen it.
You see RoboWar?
Yeah.
RoboWar. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it like the robots were kind of like the fight clubs? They were in there like fighting or something. Yes.
Yes, and they were huge. They were like,
yes.
Really big. And I was looking at him like, okay, but yes. So you all, viewers and listeners, go check out RoboWar.
So what I'm thinking is they want us to they're pulling it out first for the robots to seem friendly for something bigger that's coming. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We know that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
I pray not. Mm-mm. Oh gosh. Well, like Cece says, television tells us a vision. Somebody's vision.
Yeah.
And what we've seen so far in television has been coming true. So, yeah.
Be ready. I say, be ready. Go back and watch those iRobot movies. Go back and watch those iRobot movies and all those other, tech movies and see what they did, for humanity to survive. So, we're smarter than the robots. We built a darn thing. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a machine and there's always a kill switch. You just got to find out where it is and who has it, right? So we can we can stop it, right? Which is interesting, the Robo Wars, because it brought me. It's interesting. And Nadine, you actually sent it in there. I don't think I had told you, but Dave and I was driving my husband, and he sent me this video about these sperm races, and then you had sent a video in the chat. And I was like, is this a real thing? He had just showed me that. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? And so for those of you that may not know, there's a whole sport for sperm. Yes, human sperm. And they race. And these little jokers are fast, okay?
And this is in LA. It's in LA.
It's like a whole thing. They're trying to bring it on to make it a whole sport. People bet. They do all these things. And I'm just like, this is insane. And sure enough, you see these little sperms, like they have them under the microscope, but they put it like on the big screens. And so you can see the sperm racing. And so I don't know if this is just trying to have men be like, oh, I'm really a man because my sperm won the race or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's more clout for the
Yeah.
You can't make this thing. You can't make it up. Yes, this is crazy. I don't know what this world is coming to. Like when I saw that, my jaw literally dropped, and that's when I dropped it in the group and shared with both of them. I'm like, what is going on here? Did you see this?
I'm glad you shared with me because my jaw dropped too, girl. And when I checked it out, the common denominator that I noticed is that there was a bunch of young 18 to 20-year-olds that created this. And it's like, it's really interesting that their mind is at that age is stuck on doing. And they're trying to make it a sport. Like, really? Like, I don't see the sport in this.
Right.
So,
and so,
yeah, you can't make this up.
For the women out there, how they say it takes men more, like women, girls, so we could be 20 years old and we can really be kind of like in our brain and kind of thinking like maybe to our 30s even. Boys, 20-year-olds, they're like 15, 16, okay? Mature. So you got these young men out there. And so you see where their heads are at. So
crazy.
That part. Oh gosh. Yes, trending topics for the week has been pretty interesting, but we're going to get ready to pivot over to bring on our guest who is patiently waiting behind the scenes to come and talk with us. So on this episode, get ready to feel the rhythm, the culture, the incredible stories. We are thrilled to have this special guest who is a dynamic vocalist whose rich musical roots trace back to Caracas, Venezuela, Trinidad, and Puerto Rico. With over 20 years of captivating audiences across the globe and a lifetime surrounded by legends like Hector Lavoe, Celia Cruz, and Ruben Blades, this special guest brings the heart of salsa, merengue, and so much more to every stage that he graces. And I definitely vouch for him. He has an amazing voice because I've heard him live many times. And yes, beautiful voice. Join us today as we dive into this journey, his vibrant culture, heritage, and of course, the irresistible beats that keep us all dancing. You can't miss it. So, with that in mind, if you're planning a holiday party, reception, a social, small dance, convention, or just need background music for a corporate event, then this special guest is definitely the go-to person. He has a band ranging from 4 to 10 talented musicians. They deliver an unforgettable experience. So the standard setup includes vocals, keyboard, bass, percussions, and be expanded to a full orchestra if needed. They do offer a variety of tropical and Latin rhythms, including merengue, cumbia, bolero, cha-cha, and many other Caribbean styles. And so with extensive performance experience and a rich song list spanning multiple genres, our special guest customizes the music to perfectly suit your event. So yes, without further ado, we're going to welcome to the stage our special guest, Ricardo Diquez. Welcome to Hoy en Día TV.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Is it me or does it sound robotic?
I thought so too.
Oh, like, oh gosh, the robots are coming to my computer now.
Yeah, talking about robots.
The audio from your phone for some reason sounds like a robot. Oh gosh.
Oh, really?
Can you adjust it, Yessie, on your end?
Let's see. I don't know if I can. Let's see.
He sounded good earlier. I don't know what happened. They were talking about the robots, and it seems like they're just coming out of the woodwork.
You guys sounds very good.
Okay, sounds better now.
Sounds better.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Welcome to Hoy en Día TV. How are you? ¿Cómo está? How's everything going?
Very well. Better than I deserve. It could be better, but we are here alive, which is a good thing.
Absolutely. So you have an extensive bio, very, very, wow, impressive. But along with the bio, in a nutshell, who would you say you are? Who do you say Ricardo Diquez is?
Well, I think I'm just a person who likes to deliver positive energy and happiness, and try to make it, more into, relaxing and enjoying the time, the rhythms. I just like to entertain people, pretty much, whether it's dancing, singing, or making jokes. That's me.
That is That is awesome. Before I ask my next question, I'm going to allow Cece or Nadine. Do you have any questions you want to ask our special guest? Because once I keep going, once I get started, I keep going and going. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just shoot any question. I'm ready.
Yes, yes, yes. So you have a very, very extensive, bio. Congratulations on your career. So what I wanted to ask, I mean, I could ask so many questions. It's like, okay, but I have one. Let me see, because I wrote down a few. Yeah. So what's one unforgettable moment that you could tell us with one of your music legend, like, somebody that you worked with or you met?
Oh, so one time I was in Caracas at the Caracas Hilton Hotel. I was visiting some friends, and I look on the side at the lobby, and here she is, Celia Cruz in person. And I went there. I was only like 10 years old, maybe. And I asked for her autograph, and she said, "Of course." And she sat me on her lap, and it was like I can't believe I'm on her lap. It's Celia Cruz, and that to me was like a big deal. Knowing the queen of salsa.
that's amazing.
That's interesting. How do you like, so well, I just watch TV and see shows and stuff like that with celebrities, but like when you make a song, right? How do be like, what, this song, this is a hit? You know how sometimes like you've seen like those shows where they go back to tell a bio of someone's life, and then like we know all the popular songs, because maybe these persons have lived and died, but we knew all the hits, like Whitney Houston, and she had a lot of number one hits. How do when you're writing your songs and performing your songs, like, hey, what, this is going to be the next big hit?
Well, it's hard to tell, but because people, they have different tastes, but I would say that it's mainly the a catchy chorus that will probably make a hit song. Other than the instrumentation, I would say a catchy choral will do it, I think, even though you never know.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to take it all the way back to the roots, the beginning. You mentioned 10 years old. And so I want to understand your story about how you got introduced to music and what motivated you to continue on down this career path.
Yeah, so ever since I was little, I always wanted to be, like singing, acting, dancing, ever since I was like 3 years old. And then my dad, he studied here in the United States back in the 50s and 60s. And so when I was born, he introduced me to all of these Motown hits, Frank Sinatra, Barbra Streisand, all of the English, Anglo speaking artists. While my mother introduced me more into the Puerto Rican salsa, merengue. At the same time, my dad is from Trinidad, so he introduced me to calypso, soca, and it was like too much information, which I absorbed since I was a little, and I liked it. And after that, I can sing in English, Spanish, calypso, salsa, merengue, rock, name it. I'll try my best. And I love it.
That's amazing. That is truly impressive. And so you mentioned having all this rich culture with Trinidadian, Puerto Rican, being born in Caracas, Venezuela. And so with that, salsa and merengue seems to be like deeply tied to what the main core of your music, although you did share that you do other genres.
Right.
So how do you see your role as a musician in keeping all of these traditions, especially when it correlates to your actual ethnicity and your heritage and your culture?
Well, I think that music is it's like an evolution. And lately, what I've noticed is that they try to incorporate other styles into, for instance, salsa, and they mix it with reggaeton and some other electronic instruments, and vice versa. They mix bachata with reggaeton, and so I think that's a good idea, as long as the root of the rhythm stays the same, if you know what I mean. You know, there's always need to be a clave, even though you can rap on top of the clave.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that I think music changes a lot, especially lately with the technology.
Okay, awesome. Before I ask my next question, Cece or Nadine, what question do you have for our guest?
I think you already asked it in some form. I was going to ask him, after 20 years, what motivated you to keep going,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would say that especially when you're on stage, that's when I feel relaxed. That's when I'm, time to do this, and I enjoy it. I like to improvise. I don't like everything squared away, like on the pentagram. I like, sometimes, people can do their own improvisation, musicians, I mean, as a trumpet solo or a piano solo. I like that part. Even though I like to perform, to sing better than play instruments, but I like the improvisation part of the show.
Awesome. I guess you have to do something that you like, right? In order to be in it so long, you have to enjoy it. And it seems like you do enjoy it, and you like to, entertain the crowd.
Correct. I love it.
So what's like one of your best shows? Like out of all the shows that you've ever done, what was like that number one show that's like, hey, this was it. Like the people were great, everything was great. Like what was that number one show for you?
Yeah, I think it was in Asheville, North Carolina. It was about maybe 20 years ago. There was a crowd of about 10,000 people, and there were like 100 couples dancing. That was amazing. That I think it was amazing. Miraculously, the musicians didn't make any mistake. The sound was perfect. The night was perfect. The crowd was having a wild party. It was the best. I forgot the name of the festival, but I know it was in Asheville, North Carolina.
That is amazing. Yes. So, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because my follow-up question is in preparation for your performances, especially when you're dealing with different audiences. How do you and your team or your band, your group, prepare for upcoming shows to make sure that you all are in tune? And then along with that, if there is any misunderstandings, how do you all diffuse that?
So, obviously, I make mistakes while singing, and all of them, they make mistakes sometimes. We try to keep it to the minimum. But when I notice that there's something wrong, I just pretend that there's...
Oh, did we lose him?
Ricardo, are you there? Something happened.
Yeah, we lost him. It's okay. He'll come back on. Wow, that is amazing and exciting.
Well, I know he did mention about doing karaoke and stuff. So do you ladies karaoke?
I used to, but no, not anymore. It's been a while. I think he's trying to join back on. How about you, Cece? Do you karaoke?
No, like you guys don't want to hear me sing. Only in the shower. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. I feel like a lot of people would sound really, really good in the shower.
The acoustics are amazing.
Yes.
I have a little karaoke machine, but don't ask me to use it because
Is that what you use to entertain guests, Nadine? That is hilarious.
You know, we did karaoke here like for a family fun night, and we actually had fun. You could like put the videos on the big screen. How my husband has everything all kind of interconnected. You know, he's techie, but it was fun. The kids loved it, and my eldest, he really thinks he can sing. He is awful, y'all. He's so awful. But don't tell me. He was singing his little heart out.
That is funny. Okay, so I'm going to play a quick game with you, ladies. If you're up for it, hopefully you are. It'd be like a trivia. While Ricardo gets himself together, because he hasn't logged on yet, about merengue and salsa. So, merengue is the national music and dance of this country or area. So, A is Puerto Rico, B, Dominican Republic, C, Cuba.
I say Puerto Rico.
Okay, and how about you, Cece?
I was thinking, I want to say Dominican Republic, but I think it might be Cuba. I don't know.
Okay, are those the final answers?
I'm going between Puerto Rico and Cuba, but Puerto Rico is my number one answer. All right, I think salsa and merengue is from Puerto Rico.
Audience and listeners, if you all have a thought, feel free to put it down in the comments. But the right answer is this. Merengue is a national music and dance of the Dominican Republic with roots going back to the mid-1800s. It evolved from familiar folk rhythms like the danza and tumba, blending African drum traditions with European influences.
Interesting.
Wow, did not know that. I feel
so all that time I've been doing the merengue. I'm thinking I'm doing it for Puerto Rico, but no, I'm sorry, DR. I'm sorry.
DR.
Now, with that in mind, salsa. Origins and history. Salsa is a fusion genre born in which Caribbean country? A, Dominican Republic, B, Cuba, C, Puerto Rico, D, Cuba and Puerto Rico, E, all of the above.
All the above.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with all of the above or Cuba and Puerto Rico.
But it has to, wait a minute, it has to originate from one place, though. I mean, but if it's originated from one place, I would say Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico and Cuba. I will put those two together, Puerto Rico and Cuba, but I'll say all of the above. But I think it's Cuba and Puerto Rico.
Okay. All right. Listeners and viewers, if you all have your answers, feel free to jot that down. So the right answer is this. Origin and history of salsa. Salsa is a fusion genre born in the Caribbean, Cuba, and Puerto Rico, and evolved in New York City in the 1960s through the 70s among Cuban, Puerto Rican, and other Latino communities. It's heavily based on Cuban son, but also incorporates some mambo, guaracha, bomba plena, jazz, and more. So it is a combination of Cuba and Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Hey, I get some points. I'm on board.
Yes.
Now you said a word. Was it? What did you say? Bombalena? What did you say that? What was that?
Bomba plena. Oh, I'm glad you asked that because a lot of people do not know.
Yeah,
what that is. I'm gonna let you know. So bomba plena. Origin. Bomba is one of the oldest musical traditions in Puerto Rico, dating back to over 400 years with strong roots in the island's African heritage. Now, with that, it was created by enslaved Africans on Puerto Rico plantations who used it as a form of resistance, expression, and celebration, a way to maintain identity and community. The musical features the heart. Bomba is a conversation between dancer and the drummer. It revolves around the barrel drums called bariles, the maraca, and a low-pitched stick called the cua, tapped on the side of the drum or wooden piece. The lead drummer follows the dancer's moves, matching and echoing them with the drum calls. The dancer commands the drum, not the other way around, right? And with the dance, it's a powerful and improvisational dance. The dancer steps into the center, showing the footwork and skirt moves. And so you all that are not familiar, I encourage you all go on Google and type in bomba. You're going to see like the way they dress. It's really impressive. It's super cool. With like
wasn't there a song called the Bomba do the Bomba, something like that?
Oh, well, that's different. You're talking about Baila la Bomba. No, that's different.
No, I didn't know. Not the La 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 Bamba. It's like a song called the Bomba, I think. I mean, I could be wrong.
You're funny. Now, the plena, on the other hand, was developed a bit later, around the early 1900s in Ponce, Puerto Rico. It is known as the periódico cantado, the sung newspaper. Plena songs often shared local news, social gossip, or other stories of everyday life. So the musical features uses a small hand drum called panderetas or panderos, similar to the tambourine without the jingles. Also includes el guiro and sometimes a guitar, accordion, or a brass instrument. It has a catchy, repetitive melody and chorus and is easy to sing along. Also for the dance, plenas generally dance in pairs with a hip swaying movement, more relaxed and social than the bomba. People might form lines or circles, enjoying the lyrics and clapping along. So plena is a festive, but also carries a story, commemorates events, honors local figures, and calls for political attention. So, yeah.
Interesting.
I know, right? Isn't that pretty interesting?
Love this. Yeah,
yes, maybe. I want to know about your family coming from Jamaica. Tell me and tell the viewers and listeners more about like the culture, the music, the food, the dance. I want to know about all that.
Do I have to?
I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. I just, since we're cheering about different, musical cultures and stuff. I know Jamaican has like the reggae, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I'll be glad to pull it up on my own to talk about it too.
But like Ricardo was talking about the in Trinidad with the music too, like the calypso and stuff. We have calypso in Jamaica too, so it's similar to that culture. So
that is awesome. Mm-hmm. So with regards to reggae and there's the music in Jamaica. It's considered Jamaica's most famous musical export. And so reggae emerged in the 1960s in Jamaica, evolving out of earlier genres like the ska and rocksteady. It reflected the social and political climate of that time with the themes of struggle, resistance, Rastafari, spirituality, love, and unity. Mm-hmm. So the way that reggae is typically slow to moderate tempo, emphasizing the offbeat. The guitar or piano hits the second and fourth beats. It's called the skank. Interesting word for that.
They have a dance called the skank where you lift your foot and you do the skank.
Very interesting. So prominent bass lines, which often carry the melody. The drums use the one-drop rhythm, placing heavy emphasis on the third beat. Frequently features reggae organ or keyboard bubbles and the light horn riffs. So with music, lyrics, and messages. So typically reggae addresses social injustices, oppression, faith in Rastafari and the Jah, Pan-African unity, and everyday struggles and hopes. So famous global singer Bob Marley made that global impact. Bob Marley's and the Wailers are reggae's most iconic ambassadors. So songs that you all may be familiar: One Love, No Woman, No Cry, Redemption Song, Get Up, Stand Up, and even other legends that came, that made also global impact: Peter Tosh, Jimmy Cliff, Burning Spears, to name a few.
I like back in the days reggae. This reggae now that they have going on,
really? Oh,
I think that's like
2025
with
reggae, that's not it.
yeah, and I think that's like with most music nowadays. Like, people are always saying like music now, like it's just you're gonna forget about it. You're just not gonna remember it. But that music, like from the 50s and the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, like 80s was
The
my genre, right?
90s.
80s, 90s,
Give me,
yeah.
give me back that
It's like
90s music. Give me back that 90s reggae. Whatever they have going on now,
yeah.
they could forget about it. They could have it. Like you said, Cece, they could forget about it.
Right. And even now, that music is still like popular, like the 80s and the 90s and all that stuff. That music sticks around. Even the 70s, like James Brown, and even the 60s and all that with Sam Cooke, like, the classics. You know what I'm saying? I
You know
think
what I
everybody
call
learned
it?
how to remix.
You know what I call this music now in 2025? And I'm speaking as far as Jamaican. I'm like, I don't want to see that yaga yaga music. I call it yaga yaga.
what is that? What's yaga yaga? What is that?
Yaga yaga is like ratchet. I don't want to see that yaga yaga music. Like right now, you'd never catch me going to a dance hall or a Jamaican club.
No, I gotcha. It looks like our guest is back on. Yes, welcome back.
Sorry,
No,
I was
you're
talking
good.
to myself.
You're like, what happened?
I
The
was talking
screen
to you
blacked
guys,
out.
but I just realized I was talking to myself.
Well, I'm glad you're back. We're glad you're back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because we were having such a juicy conversation and with music in
Yeah.
between you coming back in, just talking about the history and where the different genres came from. I played a quick fun game with Nadine and Cece about where music like salsa and merengue came from, and they actually number one they missed it, but number two they were pretty spot on. So that's good.
Yeah, I heard.
You heard? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Before I ask my next question, Nadine or Cece, what follow-up question do you have for our guest?
I don't have any right now.
Yeah, I think he was on the verge of answering your question before he got kicked off.
Yes. So my question is mainly about what do you all do during, like, how often do you practice? In a nutshell, how often do you practice, and if there are any misunderstandings or any moments where not everyone is aligned, what do you all do to diffuse that?
So, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, absolutely. Rehearsals. How do your rehearsals look with your group? How often do you rehearse? And during rehearsals, if there's ever a point where you all are not on the same page, what do you do to diffuse that to make sure that everybody understands? Like, hey, we have to come together to deliver this product because it happens, right? We're humans. Sometimes people get emotional, things like that. Every
Right.
situation is different. So I don't know if you all ever experienced that. If not, that's great. But yeah, that's mainly what I had in mind for my question.
Yeah. So, when I pick the repertoire, I try to pick songs not only that represent the whole Latin America. Like for instance, I have songs from Celia Cruz, Cuba, songs from Oscar de Leon, Venezuela, songs from El Grupo Nietzsche, Colombia, songs from Willie Colon, Puerto Rico, and so forth. So that being said, um, the easy songs are just like that, easy, and they don't require too much rehearsal. But then I
Mhm.
also pick some complicated songs that have lots of um, brass arrangements, and that's when we require a rehearsal so that the brass section can do their thing by themselves, the rhythm section do their thing by themselves, the singers and the percussion do the thing by themselves, so when we get together everybody knows exactly what's going on. And if it needs to be repeated again, we'll do it again until it's straight.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
For young musicians looking to get into this type of career, what words of encouragement or motivation would you share with them? And what food for thought should they keep in mind when entering this type of career, especially being a musician?
Well, um, I think music makes you smarter, first of all. So any instrument that you could learn how to play and become an expert, uh, you should take advantage of it. When my stepson was little, when I first met him, he was about 4 years old, and one of his birthdays, or I think it was for Christmas, um, I gave him like a little bongos and little maracas, like toys, and he liked it. And now he's 25, and now he's one of the best musicians that I have. He plays all the percussion, congas, uh, bongos, maracas, timbales. He plays all of it. So, and I think he's an excellent musician, dedicated. So I'm glad that I planted the seed right there. And same with my other two children. I just planted the seed, and they love it. I think it's a good thing if you start from early age.
Yeah, that's good advice for parents, especially if they're not sure what activities to put their kids in. It sounds like putting them in different musical programs is definitely a good go-to. You see the traditional, okay, I'm gonna sign them up for karate, or I'm gonna sign them up for track, or this and that. But hey, consider music, right? We need more good musicians in our world. And it sounds like Ricardo has shared based on his experience that has helped him and his family. So that's beautiful. And even with that, so sharing that story of introducing your 4-year-old to music, how did that outline look regarding commitment, especially coming from a parent perspective? And this is something that I want you to share, food for thought about, especially those who are interested in signing up their children for music lessons or to learn a certain instrument. What does that time commitment really look like in your experience?
So a good thing is that when it comes to the commitment, a good thing is that he likes to play the music. It is addictive. Once you start playing with the orchestra, and you see the interaction and the dynamics of the whole performance, it becomes addictive to the point that you cannot wait till the next performance to express yourself, because that's like an expression. So when it comes to my stepson, well, son, he doesn't hesitate to come and play with us. He's committed. He loves it. It's just like I do.
Yeah. And just to rephrase it, what I meant is like growing up, when you introduce him at 4 years old to the instrument, and then growing up and developing his craft in music, what did you have to do to make sure that he was always perfecting or working towards perfecting his skill to where he's at now, where you said he's amazing and excellent?
Right. So what I did, since I'm not a professional percussionist, I can play, but I'm not, that's not my thing. What I did is I introduced him to some of my percussionist friends, like Billy Marrero. He's got his own orchestra. I introduced him to Lou Ramos, who just passed away recently. Hope he rest in peace. And Cesar Cordero. So these are master percussionists. So Noah, my son, he hung out with them. They taught him a few techniques here and there, the proper way of hitting the bongos and slaps and all of that, the counting of the bell. And amazingly, he caught up real quick, and he's as good as they are, I would say.
Very impressive. That is awesome. So it sounds like you were able to make those right connections that introduced him to other individuals who are already in the industry and he was able to learn from them as mentors. So that's amazing. Okay. My last question that I have for you is what's next for you? Are there new projects, collaborations, or even are there dreams that you have in mind that are on the horizon that you're truly excited
Sorry, I
about?
cannot hear you.
Yeah. My last question for you is are there new projects, collaborations, pretty much what's next for you, or even if there are dreams that you've been excited about coming up and you're like, yes, my dream is finally coming true to do X, Y, and Z.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
Okay. It looks like on our end the screen blacked out too. Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't
Cannot
see
hear
you.
you.
Okay. I'm gonna
Let
take
me
you
try to
behind the
log in
screen.
again. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
log in again.
Oh yeah, no problem. Oh, Nadine, you're on mute.
I was just saying the internet is just we've been having crazy problem with the internet on the platforms. Crazy.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's technology, right? It's interesting because pretty much what 99% of the world depends on internet and technology, and we're starting to see that slowly failing. It's probably like we're overexerting technology.
Right. It's crazy. Just like
That,
CC's Wi-Fi went out and they're not getting it until tomorrow. Their internet. That's ridiculous.
that is ridiculous. I agree. That's
Yeah.
not cool. You pay all this money for a service and a product, and then for what? Like, okay, so a whole day without internet, are you all going to reimburse these
Oh, they
individuals?
do. Yeah,
Oh,
because we've
okay,
had this
cool.
happen several times and they do reimburse. Because I'm like, doing work and stuff like, and nowadays, you got to think about it. If the internet goes down, how are you going to conduct business? I mean, you really got to think about like old school. How do we do it before we had internet? But I bet you a lot of companies are not even like set up like that. People like kind of forget. And so that's like one of the things that I was like, people always need to have that contingency plan in place. When things do go down, what do we do? Because with companies now, like you can't even call them because there's no phone numbers. You got to use your internet. So then what, right? So I say maybe it'll force us to go back to having those phone numbers and writing things down again and, having that backup system because the internet's just one big cable that's at the bottom of the ocean plugged in from, one thing to the next. And so the whole world's connected,
And I
you
was
know?
thinking too the other day about the payphone, CC. Like they only have it in movies now. Like, what about the payphones? They need to put back up payphones.
Yes, the payphones. Yeah. Like payphones are
Absolutely.
handy.
Absolutely. Our guest is back on.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Yes, welcome back. Can you hear me now?
Yes. I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
Oh, it's okay. It happens. It's technology. It's all good.
Yeah.
So the final question I had for you is asking you what's next for you? Are there new projects, collaborations, or dreams on the horizon that you're truly excited about, especially to accomplish?
Yeah. So about 2 months ago, at the beginning of May, I released another single called Sabroso Remedio, which, by the way, you can find it everywhere at any platform, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, everywhere. And right now I'm working on the second, well, actually the fourth single. It's called Mucho Saoko, which was written by Van Lester, and that's my next project. I'm trying to balance the somehow I'm trying to balance the live performances and the studio recordings, and it's kind of hard, but it's possible. So that's my next project. Finish an album and keep working on the next.
That is amazing. Yes, truly exciting. For people who want to book you and your group or band, what's that process like? How do they reach you for bookings?
So yeah, first, if you Google my name, it'll be all over the internet. My phone number, videos. Of course, we are in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, um, all of the social media. And my number is 919-452-7301. That's a good way to contact me. And yeah, find me on social media, Ricardo Diquez.
Okay. And with that in mind, we're going to pivot over to our last minute words. Ricardo, since you've already started our closure, which is beautiful, any last minute words, food for thought, a quote, anything like that you want to share in addition to what you've already shared with us about how people can contact you and book you?
Yeah, so we played like we said before, all sorts of Caribbean rhythms, and we've been all over the East Coast, from Florida all the way to New York. So yeah, just give us a call. Just love the music. Music makes you want to dance and makes you relax and makes you escape from things that, everyday problems. So I encourage you and everybody to either dance, listen, or sing or perform any instruments. That will ease your soul.
Okay, next time I go in the shower, I'm gonna be banging on the shower glass, and I'm gonna be singing a tune in my head.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is awesome. Ricardo, before we logged on, you also mentioned that on Wednesdays, people can actually see you through, you do live karaoke at Sophie's is that in Cary, North Carolina?
Yeah, that it is called Sophie's Bar and Restaurant. And every Wednesday, I host the karaoke and I let other people shine.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so people can't hear your lovely voice. Come on now.
That too, but in this case, you guys are the guests.
Okay, what about now? Can we hear a tune, a 2-second tune or something?
Of course.
Okay, come on, serenade us here.
No sé lo que son los encantos de mi borinquen hermosa, por eso la quiero yo tanto, por siempre la llamaré preciosa.
Great.
Gracias.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Gracias.
You do have a beautiful voice. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me also.
Thank you for being on as our special guest. Yes. When it comes to music, I just love music. And my dad, he always loved merengue, salsa, especially Hector Lavoe and salsa. He loved Hector Lavoe. Like, yeah, that was one of his. So I'm excited that you said yes to be a guest. So, hey, here you are, right? That's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes. Nadine, would you go up next for our last minute words and where people can find you?
Yes. As you guys know, my name is Nadine Barton, the author, Navy retired veteran, travel agent, and also if you want to find out more about me, you could look me up on my website, nadinebarton.com. You'll find all my books. Find me on Amazon. Find me on Instagram as Nadia B _1202. And that's on Instagram. Like I always say, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. Okay.
Looks like we lost Cece. But I think she did give us a heads up before with her internet. It's like may have spazzed out too. But thank you all for tuning into Hoy en Dia TV. We're going to go into our sponsor segment. So shout out to Nadine, the author, who's our sponsor. She also has Nadine's Travel Oasis. That commercial is coming up in just a few. Shout out to Collective Wear. Shout out to Divine Beauty and Accessories. It looks like CC is back on. I'm going to bring it back on.
Okay.
Divine Beauty and Accessories. CC, you get to close out today. First for you. Hey.
Okay. Just in the nick of time. So I'm your girl, Sandra, the action.
Not yet.
Okay.
No, you're good. We're just giving you a heads up. Sorry. So with that, I'm going to play our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear. Available at www.yessirodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Oyendia TV Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Dream, explore, discover with Nadine's Travel Oasis. Your next adventure is just a booking away. From breathtaking beaches to vibrant cityscapes, we handle the details so you can make the memories. Luxury, leisure, or last-minute getaways, we've got you covered. Book today and let Nadine's Travel Oasis take you places.
Also, shout out to Dr. Cece the Action. She is also a sponsor of Oyendia TV and her Inspire for Purpose, Girls with Gigs. There's just many, many things that she does, but I'm going to let her share that as well. With me, for those who want to find me, you can go on Google, type in Yes You Rodriguez. You can see all of my different social medias, ways to find me, my website, yesyourodriguez.com. Exciting this coming in the either next month or in the coming months. There's a workshop that I will be starting for actors. So beginners, actors, or whichever level, there's an acting workshop that I will be putting together and partnering up with the House of Zoe Walker, who is going to be reflecting the modeling side. So for talent who wants to get serious in acting and serious in your modeling and be a dynamic duo with the talent, make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to have more juicy details about how you all can sign up for that 4-week workshop. Details coming soon. Also, for those who want to be a sponsor on Oyendia TV or simply be a guest on Oyendia TV, simply email oyendiatv@gmail.com. It is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And for my quote that I love to say, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. Dr. Cece, you get to close out today. Hit the road.
Absolutely. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the show today. It was amazing. Just talking about music. You all know that music is healing for the soul. And so hopefully you'll go out and you'll do that and be in your shower too, kind of banging on the doors and making it happen. But I'm Sandra, the Action Sure Girl with Inspire for Purpose and also Extended Hands Worldwide Ministry. And I just want to encourage you all to remember that nothing positive ever came from negative thinking. And as I always love to say, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Thank you all for tuning in. Until next week. Bye.